Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, the economy is not in good shape. And for a while there, Donald Trump has been hiding it. And, even all the inflation and everything, he doesn't realize you're the president. So you inherit all of that stuff. And not only that, start making it worse, then that is a problem in itself. And Donald Trump needs to learn, and I know he never will be, to take accountability for the things that happen on his watch because he doesn't do that. So I'm going to let you listen to videos that people are struggling and they're noticing how bad it is out here. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we can get started. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Oops. Sorry about that. That was my fault. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Donald Trump's authoritarianism has a cost. His abuses of power are directly negatively impacting the economic well being of everyday Americans. Democrats do not have to pick between the message of affordability or the message of anti-authoritarianism. They can do both at the exact same time because authoritarianism and affordability are intrinsically tied together. Let me explain. I'm an independent journalist that's been covering Donald Trump and American politics for over a decade now. I've made appearances on MSNBC, CNN, I write a best-selling Substack newsletter, and I documented every single day of Trump's first term. And I'm here to tell you that this debate between whether or not Democrats should pursue affordability only message or an anti-authoritarian message is irrelevant, because what it comes down to is that they're both tied together. Donald Trump's abuses of power and authoritarian overreach are having real quantifiable negative impacts on the economy. And it's right here in the data for all of us to see. Let me break this down. Donald Trump's inflationary tariffs, which have risen prices and slowed the economy, leading to the slowest months of job growth since the pandemic, and before that, the Great Recession, which has led to actual job loss. Those tariffs are based on a fake emergency declaration, an economic emergency declaration that's predicated on an emergency that does not exist. It's an abuse of executive power. This is an example of Donald Trump's authoritarianism having a direct negative economic impact on everyday Americans. And Democrats should say that. Donald Trump's purges of federal workers, violating civil service protections, his targeting of nonpartisan civil servants. You know what those have done? Not only boosting the unemployment rate overall, they have disproportionately impacted Black Americans. 7.5% Black unemployment is what the African American community is seeing right now. Black people are being hit the hardest by these federal purges. The New York Times highlighted this in a recent article. This is real. Black people used to make up 18% of the federal workforce before Donald Trump took office. Anti-DEI policies, these indiscriminate firings of nonpartisan civil servants, they're impacting Black Americans and raising the Black unemployment rate. Another example of an abuse of power, an authoritarian abuse of power directly impacting and harming everyday Americans. This is a message Democrats should highlight. It's tied directly to affordability and Americans' livelihoods. Immigration, Donald Trump's ICE raids, his cruel, unconstitutional detainments of everyday Americans, his deportations of hardworking immigrants who are here just trying to make a better way, these violations of Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights, these are abuses of power. But guess what? They're also damaging local economies. The American Immigration Council published an article making this exact point, showing workforce depletion across agriculture and construction industries. We're seeing this having real meaningful impact on the economy. It is not just about the inhumanity and indecency of this. It's also economically stupid. And that's another point Democrats can point out, another tie of Trump's authoritarianism directly to the economic reality of everyday Americans. Another layer to add to this messaging is the fact that Donald Trump, while he's raising prices on Americans and damaging the economy, is personally enriching himself and his family through these crypto scams and these Middle East grifts. He is directly enriching himself while raising prices on Americans. It's a clear-cut message. You don't have to make a choice between messaging around Donald Trump's authoritarianism or messaging around kitchen table issues, because right now, Donald Trump's authoritarianism is landing on Americans' kitchen tables. I made this argument in a recent appearance on MSNBC. You can go check out. I wrote an article on this and went into more detail on the data on my Substack newsletter, ahmedbaba.news. You can go read that if you'd like, and subscribe if you're interested. And I just think that this is an issue that should resonate, right? Like, it's not just about democracy or affordability. Like, you can talk about the cruelty of this administration and the unconstitutional nature of their behavior, while also highlighting that that behavior is directly impacting you, the everyday American. It's raising your prices. It's damaging the economy. It's leading to unemployment. And I think this can be highlighted in a real way. So that's my point. That's the case I'm making. Appreciate you watching. Subscribe, follow, check out my work. I'm going to keep doing videos like this. We got a lot we're navigating right now, and I appreciate you spending that time with me. So take care.
Young folks, it's time to be honest. The job market ain't looking good for us right now. So today's job report showed that we only added 22,000 jobs in the month of August, and June was revised to actually say that we lost 13,000 jobs, and unemployment is now at 4.3%, and it has been steadily increasing since Trump took office. And specifically for young folks ages 16 to 24, unemployment is at 10.5%. Now, all of this reminded me of that one viral TikTok that was going around about this young couple being very happy that Trump won because they thought they were going to be able to afford things now and build a family. Yeah, here's your fell for it again award. It turns out that unilateral tariffs are not going to bring manufacturing jobs back. As of now, manufacturing jobs continue to decline. Also, you know how Trump was saying that he's going to deport all the illegal immigrants who are stealing our jobs? Well, guess what? Native-born unemployment is still going up even after all of the deportations that we have done under Donald Trump. My fellow men out there, guess what? We are losing jobs as well. Employment for men also continues to go down. And by the way, this all comes after Trump fired the Commissioner of Labor Statistics because he was mad at last month's job report, which was not good. He said it was fake numbers. And now this month's job numbers with his handpicked commissioner are even worse. You can call it the Trump effect, as the White House likes to put it. Now, does this mean a recession is coming? Honestly, I have no idea because it really is a gamble to bet on the economy. And inflation still has not changed substantially. It hasn't been going down. And so Trump's promises about bringing back a new golden age for the United States economy are just not happening. You know, if these numbers were coming out under the Biden administration, conservative figures like Charlie Kirk would be laying the hammer down on this issue. And guess what? Us with the Unfuck America tour have the chance to do exactly that to Charlie Kirk at Colorado State University, Fort Collins this September 19th about Trump's economy. So if you want to see us do that, and if you want to see me go, help me out by donating anything that you possibly can, because it's going to help me out a lot with travel. It's also going to help us overall with travel expenses and voter registration efforts. So if you want to learn more about that, make sure to click the link in my bio for our website and the donation link. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you follow me on whatever platform you're watching and give this video a like, and I'll see you guys very soon.
The farmers are getting crushed. Soybean sales to China have gone to zero. This is not what winning looks like. And is there anyone left who thinks that this is going well? As we've talked about before, American sales of soybeans to China have gone to zero as of the end of May. It is not a mystery why this is going on. It's because of the Donald Trump-led trade war on many countries, but certainly on China. And meanwhile, Donald Trump's agriculture secretary says no one's ever been more supportive, outspokenly supportive of our farmers than Donald Trump himself. Yet another one of these comparisons to Abraham Lincoln. You know, she's taking orders from Trump really well. Trump has started to say he's a better president than Lincoln was. And now you've got other people saying even Lincoln might not be able to outdo Trump. And the Lincoln comparison would almost be funny if the reality weren't completely brutal for our farmers, which is that Trump screams about America first. And meanwhile, Brazil and Argentina are taking over America's old.
For about the 1 millionth time since Donald Trump took office, the very farmers who voted overwhelmingly for him in 2024 are pissed off at what Donald Trump has done, because no matter how many times he screws them over, they keep acting like it's never happened before, and it's a shock every time. You know, I don't know what they're expecting at this point, but I am getting sick and tired of hearing about the farmers who voted for Trump being shocked that he is screwing us over again. But nevertheless, Donald Trump really is screwing over America's cattle farmers. Trump announced recently that he is, of course, going to allow the imports of beef from Argentina, his new favorite country for some reason. He's going to send them $40 billion as well. And the farmers were pissed off at that because we need it. Argentina's selling all the soybeans now to China instead of China buying our soybeans, and you're giving them $40 billion. And now you want to sell their beef to American consumers instead of our beef that is sky high in prices. Makes sense. I mean, honestly, of all the things Donald Trump has done, To me, this one doesn't sound all that bad. Maybe it's because I am a big beef guy. But this actually seems like, okay, yeah, we need to bring in, we're having a little bit of a cattle shortage right now in the United States. You know, the demand from American consumers is higher than the supply. And that is the perfect instance, you know, in basic macroeconomics where you import to make up for the shortfall to help prevent massive inflation. Anybody who, you know, spent any time studying economics in college understands that, yeah, that's actually.
The average American is one paycheck away from not being able to pay their bills and about 3 paychecks away from losing their home and everything they have. We are about to see millions and millions of Americans filing for bankruptcy due to these policies enacted by your favorite president, Donald Trump, and his corrupt group of incompetent economic and policy advisors. See, here's one thing about economic law. You can only violate it for so long. You can only fake it for so long before it catches up with you. Well, the jobs report came out today for the month of August. We're up 22,000 jobs, which effectively means no one is hiring. So if you need a job to pay your bills, you're not going to be able to find one. Oh, by the way, as they're raiding all these different plants around the country looking for undocumented workers, they were supposed to actually look for criminals. That's what we were sold on, but now they're just looking for anyone that looks like they have brown skin, and they're going to pull them out of these jobs. They've been doing it all over the country, dated every single day. And by the way, as they do that, those factories will begin shutting down. They will not be able to make it. Farms are going to go broke. It's already happening. States are going broke. Literally entire red states, not blue states, red states, by the way. Another story there. You can only fake economic law so long. Trump has no idea what he's doing. Oh, by the way, if you're worried about Trump and the other rich people, yeah, they don't need jobs. They live off the interest of their investments. They can't even spend as much money as they earn on a daily basis. So they're not worried about this at all. They're not worried about you. Oh, I know so many of you MAGAs think Trump is on your side. A guy that inherited effectively what in today's dollars would be $400 million and lost it 6 times. But he's on your side. He's never even heard the word groceries before because he's never been in a grocery store. He's an inherited billionaire con man. I'd like to say, wake up, MAGA, and anyone else who voted for Trump, but you know what? In terms of economics, it's probably too late. See, ignorance has consequences. This entire phony administration, all these phony experts, all this is about to come crashing down. That's the power of economics. You can only fake it for so long, and unfortunately, millions of innocent Americans are about to feel the pain of this fraud.
North Carolina is following in the footsteps of Gavin Newsom by mocking the way that Trump types on Truth Social. Take a look at this post. They say the big, beautiful tariffs are making inflation great again. The greatest increase in inflation since the pandemic, many are saying. Herbert Hoover, Lil Hoover they call him, had the Great Depression, but no one remembers him. Sad. Under Trump, America will have the greatest depression in American history. I really hope that more people hop on this trend of mocking Trump in the way that he types on Truth Social, because it's ridiculous that a president of the United States would be doing that. And he should honestly be ashamed of himself in the way that he types on there. He makes our entire country look like a joke. But this post right here attacks Trump's many economic failures while also bringing up Jeffrey Epstein, both very important subjects. July's wholesale prices have skyrocketed, the largest increase we've seen in 3.5 years because of Donald Trump's tariffs. His whole campaign, he said that he was going to release the Epstein files and lower inflation. When he gets into office, what does he do? The exact opposite. So I'm glad that more people are starting to mock Donald Trump, because what he's doing is insulting to the integrity of the United States.
Guess what happened while we were distracted by all the other crazy news? Donald Trump hit his lowest economic approval rating ever in either term this week. Watch this video and I'm going to tell you why it matters.
We're talking about new lows for Donald Trump. He's hit new lows for himself. Trump's economic net approval rating hits lows with these pollsters. CNBC, look at this. Down now, minus 13 points in the net approval rating on the economy. You come to this side of the screen, it's minus 19 points among Quinnipiac. And keep in mind, we're talking about hitting record lows for Donald Trump in either his first term, which of course ended back in 2021, or his second term, which is ongoing right now. The bottom line is Donald Trump is at the lowest point ever in either of his terms.
Humiliating, right? But he gets so much worse.
Compare it to presidents historically.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Donald Trump is beating himself in the way you don't want to beat yourself, record lows, but let's compare it to other presidents. Well, let's take a look here. Okay, worst economic net approval ratings at this point among presidents since 1977. In the presidency, right, this is a new Donald Trump presidency. Look at this. He's the worst for any presidency at this point. How about the second term? Come to this side of the screen. Of course, Trump's in his second term. He's the worst for any president at their second term at this point. So Donald Trump isn't just beating himself with record lows. This is the lowest for any president ever at this point in either a presidency or for a second term. Donald Trump setting the types of records you simply put do not want to set.
Here's another way of looking at this. This is Trump's approval ratings by overall and then broken down by issue. And that very bottom line there is inflation and cost of living. He is doing terribly. Why does this matter? Because an unpopular president does not have the mandate that a popular president does. He drags his party down in elections. Watch what's going to happen in November and you'll see proof. The less popular he is, the more of a political liability he becomes. The more corporations and other institutions start to realize that people hate him, the less they're going to be willing to go along with him. And the more unpopular he becomes on the economy, the more people will join our movement, which is capable of stopping him if we all come together and work peacefully to do just that. And I mean it, you guys. He wants you to think that he is inevitable, that he will be here forever. Steve Bannon is out there today saying he's going to have a third term. Bullshit. He won't if we don't let him. And we shouldn't let him because the majority of Americans despise him. So get to work, help us fight him, and remember, the many is more powerful than the money. And that man, he's the money. He's also historically unpopular. Make sure you never let him forget it.
President Trump has just wiped out 11% of our nation's GDP with one executive order. This is what the country is waking up to today, and no one has any idea what it means. He ordered the government to pause all loans and grants immediately, crippling hospitals, construction, schools, local and state governments, nonprofits, research, housing. His memo says, quote, "The use of federal resources to advance Marxist equity, transgenderism, and Green New Deal social engineering policies is a waste of taxpayer dollars that does not improve the day-to-day lives of those we serve. These funds represent 11% of our nation's economy. The street I live on was supposed to get some safety upgrades this year with those funds. Sorry, my street was too woke for Trump. As Chuck Schumer pointed out this morning, Congress approved all these funds, and Congress holds the purse strings. The executive branch cannot legally do this."
Trumpflation just dropped, and the price of the brick is going up. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Santana, and listen, guys, we have to talk about the actual inflation numbers that just came out. You remember how Donald Trump ran on like reducing inflation, lowering grocery prices, bringing back jobs, manufacturing? None of that has happened. Let's get into these new inflation numbers. This just dropped from Reuters that the inflation numbers out and they rose more than expected in August. Under Donald Trump, we've seen the largest increase of inflation that we've seen in the last 7 months. Consumer price index rose by 0.4% after an increase of 0.2% in July. And we saw abysmal numbers that came out from the BLS. And this is all contributing to the 2.9% increase in inflation. This is the largest jump since January. I would be remiss if I didn't mention there was actually forecasting completed last year by Reuters, and economists expected inflation to only increase by 0.3%, while under Donald Trump, it has actually increased by 2.9%. The moral of this story is Donald Trump lied. Donald Trump lied about being able to eliminate inflation because, yes, he said he was going to get rid of it. Donald Trump lied about lowering grocery prices. Donald Trump lied about bringing back jobs. And Donald Trump lied about Jeffrey Epstein. I just want to make sure that everybody is prepared for what's coming. Again, this is going to be a hard economic time under the Trump administration because, frankly, he has no clue what he's doing. I'm going to continue to bring you fast and updated information as quickly as possible. Make sure you follow me, and I will make sure to provide you the real news. Anyway, guys, I love you. And as always, peace.
Trump's economy ain't bad. It's horrendous. It is the worst. The The food prices are so high, it's ridiculous. And y'all know I love to eat. The prices are not going down. And who was that said that they were going to bring the food prices down? Let me guess. Him. The food prices are horrendous. The economy is horrendous. Everybody broke. Nobody had no money. So many unemployed people. The job market is crap. Don't get me started because I'm going to tell it like it is, okay? I don't care, if we got this other stuff going on. It's still, the economy still sucks, okay? The food prices are still sky high. Things are not getting no better. And all he's thinking about is a ballroom. Let me guess. Is that ballroom going to help me? Is that 100 million, trillion, whatever, ballroom going to help anybody? No. The ballroom, we won't even be able to sit in the ballroom and eat caviar and would be with the bougie rich people. That's all he's worried about. It's a shame. The economy is trash.
I wanted to make sure you guys saw this today. Trump just lost 26,000 manufacturing jobs. It's no shocker. We all knew his tariffs were stupid. Remember when he said his policies were going to bring manufacturing jobs to the U.S., ignoring the fact that we had the all-time highest surge in manufacturing under Biden? Yeah, Trump failed. But here's what makes it even crazier. This dude went and fired the person responsible for giving the numbers after he got him. He went after the messenger because he's so desperate, he needed a scapegoat. That's weak. And America is worse off as a result of it. You want to reverse this trend? Me too. Chip into our campaign, link to my bio, and let's make it happen.
I just need to check in with my people just to make sure I'm not crazy. Because Trump, once again, he continues to say that grocery prices are down and gas is down. And pretty soon gas will be under $2. Now, I live in the state of Georgia. Our gas prices here, roughly at the most $2.92 a gallon, $2.89 a gallon. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not down. And every time I go grocery shopping, I literally hate it. Groceries are still high. Hell, me and my husband went grocery shopping the other day. A pack of hamburger meat was $27.99. On average, we are spending between $500 to $600 a month on groceries. And that's no lie. So wherever you are, and if you come across this video, am I crazy? Because again, gas prices where I live in Georgia are not down, and grocery prices certainly are not down.
We do have the data, and it is not good. 22,000 jobs created during the month of August. That is significantly lower than the 75,000 anticipated. Last month, 73,000 revised up to 79,000. Change in private payrolls, 38,000. Last month, it was 83,000. The 2-month net payroll revision is another negative 21,000. We'll have to look and see what the breakdown on that is. But the unemployment rate, which is the thing the Fed is watching, moves to 4.3% from 4.2%.
The last time Donald Trump was in office, we had a pandemic and the economy crashed. This time that Donald Trump's in office, we have no pandemic, and yet we are moving in the same direction, even worse. Let's think about this for just a minute, okay? The second time he decimated farming, and a bunch of his rich friends started investing in buying up farmland. The first time he tried to remove ACA, and then ACA was affirmed and didn't go away, but they tried many times. So now, since they can't get that done, even though they run the whole show, now they're just gonna defund it to where the average person on ACA is gonna see their policy jump by like 3 times. There will be no tax credit or anything like that. Now add to this that he trashed the oil market the last time, and he's doing that again. We've got 30,000 people last week from Exxon, I think, and then there was about 50,000 before that. We've seen your power costs go up about 12%. It's going to continue to do that. We've seen we've seen actual prices in the grocery store go up. We're all feeling that because inflation is on the rise. Anything that's got metal in it is more expensive. We have a bunch of manufacturers who've actually pulled out of the United States. And then we've lost a bunch of manufacturing jobs. Now, keep in mind, under Biden, we increased manufacturing jobs more than we had in like 10 years. And then as that happens, we see a very obvious situation where the service sector is going to probably lose around 1.4 million jobs. It looks like we lost at least 30,000 jobs last month just because of what ADP said. So we're not moving forward. Now we're sliding back. This is happening. It doesn't matter what the stock market's doing day to day. This is happening because all these indicators are sitting at like 2008 levels, 2020 levels. This historically, this is not even a party-oriented thing, but historically, this is what Republican administrations do. The difference between this one and all the rest of them is they have spent money that is beyond anything conceivable for no good result. And what the MAGA doesn't understand is super simple. This party is coming for them. I mean, they make less money and they're less educated than most Democrats. You know, I told you a few months back whenever black unemployment was like 7.88%. That told us where we were going. We were doing good when Biden was in. We were growing every single month. This is happening. Just go look at legitimate financial folks that are talking about things, and you will see that housing is starting to crash. You're seeing that people aren't buying mortgages. You're seeing people are selling houses left and right, trying to get out from underneath them. Airbnbs are, I mean, go look. Just go look on Zillow and see how many furnished houses are being sold. And those houses are Airbnbs. This is happening. This is happening in real time right now. We're watching it. This is how an administration destroys an economy. The truth is, in the world of our economy, if you just leave it alone, it really does work pretty good. You just have to regulate it enough so that a bunch of evil things don't happen. But understood, this is how this is going to go, okay? Understand this is how this is going to go. This is what the patterns say. This is what history says will happen. After this shit show comes to an end, after it comes to an end, we will have to act with speed and grace to get a bunch of things handled. And among those things, we'll be putting back healthcare, but putting it back in a way that it actually touches every American. That may not be single payer day one, but it's going to be damn close. We're going to put guardrails on government so that when you try to take over the government with something like Project 2025, it doesn't happen. And we're going to do this. You know why? You know why? We're going to do this because of this dumbass and these dumbass followings think that this is how you run a country. They think Gilead's a good idea. They do. I only know this because I talk to them often and they tell me things like this, like the church should be in charge. We have to make these people crawl back under their rock and hope that they don't take any vaccines. So maybe they'll, natural selection. But I'm tired of this. But I mean, like, I read the tea leaves. This is what's happening. It's happening right now. And you should be feeling it now. And you should make accommodations for this. Don't buy anything big. Assume that things are not going to go well because they're not. As we used to say in the country, start soaking the beans. I wish it was good news, guys. It's not. It's terrible. But just know that the terrible gets us to the place we ultimately want to go. And that stinks because yanking this Band-Aid off is going to hurt. It does every day. I appreciate being here with you, though, because at least I know that there are a bunch of us that understand these things and actually care about, continuity and respect for people and things the Bible talks about for real. Peace, y'all.
Donald Trump ran his campaign promising to put America first. However, amidst of our governmental shutdown, he chose to put Argentina first. Let's talk about it. Amidst America's governmental shutdown and some governmental employees not being paid, and then on top of that, children are threatened to have food taken out of their mouths come next month due to the cut in SNAP benefits. Donald Trump has took it upon himself to enter into a $20 billion bailout with Argentina in order to stabilize their currency and stabilize their economy. And this is putting America first? I think not. But however, we have farmers that are threatening foreclosure. We have lost jobs. We have lost plants that were supposed to come to America but had to back out due to the high increase in tariffs. But this man said he is putting America first. Donald Trump and his regime only cares about putting them first. He have proven this past week that it's not about putting America first. It's about putting Donald Trump and his regime first. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about Donald Trump bailing out Argentina when America is suffering. Like, share, and follow me for more controversial topics.
Is that when Trump was in office from 2016 to 2020, he added $8.4 trillion onto our debt because he doesn't know business, okay? Not only that, he gave all tax breaks to the rich and big corporations, not to you, because you've been under his tax plan this whole entire Biden administration because his tax plan expires in 2025. The only thing that Donald Trump has ever been good at doing is one thing, conning you guys. Because what he's done is he has conned you, give you an illusion that he was this big successful businessman. If that was the case, why are we selling watches right now? Bibles, sneakers, God knows what else, and also aligning ourselves with some of the most crooked people that there is in the world right now. Elon Musk is one of them, Mark Zuckerberg. You can't trust those guys, but he aligns himself with them. So yeah, he has had a successful business of fooling all of you MAGAs. And you
So I dug into that disastrous July jobs report, and there's some data I have to share with you. We know the July numbers were horrible, and we know May and June were even worse. We know that taken together, those 3 months were the worst 3 months for job creation since 2010. And we know this because Trump is an idiot who is fucking terrible at everything he does. But let's be more specific, because just saying Trump is an idiot doesn't give you all the details. What I have to show you is this. Yes, those 3 months were terrible, but look where the actual jobs did come in. Healthcare and social assistance. 204,000 jobs in 3 months. If it weren't for healthcare, we would have lost jobs every month. Because government, professional and business services, manufacturing, wholesale trade, and retail trade all lost jobs. Good thing no one's coming after healthcare jobs, right? Shit. The big bloated abomination just cut $1 trillion from Medicaid, and the Congressional Budget Office calculated that those cuts are going to result in at least 10 million Americans losing their healthcare. Do you know what happens when people don't have healthcare? They avoid going to the doctor. They hide from illness, and they continue to hide from it until something gets so bad they have to go to the emergency room. Then the emergency room bill comes in, and it's way higher than they would have paid if they had just had health insurance. And if they can't pay that bill, then the hospital is left to eat the cost. Oh, but I forgot to mention Trump's budget bill also cut the provider tax, which is a source of revenue that hospitals use to offset the cost of unpaid medical bills, which means the hospitals are now at risk of going under, costing us all of those new healthcare jobs I mentioned earlier, leaving millions of Americans without healthcare and without access to an emergency room. All because why? Say it with me, because Trump is a fucking idiot, and the Republicans in Congress doing his bidding are even worse.
So I saw some Trump supporters posting about how they'd be able to buy a home now, and I was like, I don't remember anything about that in his economic policy. So I go to read his economic policy, and no, there's nothing about homes or really the economy at all. But in the economy section, under expanding freedom, prosperity, and safety in space, he says that under Republican leadership, the United States will create a robust manufacturing industry in near-Earth orbit. What do you mean? This is under the crypto section, which, yeah, there's a section about how they're going to make more crypto, but what do you mean near Earth orbit? Are we about to have a mass effect in the next 4 years? So I don't think this video is going to reach Republicans or Trump voters, but I need you guys to understand that, like, we're all about to get fucked by AI. In the in the section on economy, it says, we will repeal Joe Biden's dangerous executive order that hinders AI innovation and imposes radical left-wing ideas on the development of this technology. Are you guys aware of what Joe Biden's AI executive order did? You know, like BlackRock and other landlords were using AI to like sort of generate pricing and raise pricing in like all of middle America. Trump is trying to repeal the thing meant to set that back. Also, you know how like your grandma can get scammed by like somebody using an AI voice or just like AI videos of people saying things? Yeah, it would also repeal protections against that. It would also require that people who develop AI no longer share like safety test results with the government. Also, the executive order that he's looking to repeal was seeking to put in privacy protections for citizens, especially kids, and now there's like specifically this would try to deregulate data brokers, which means like the people who sell all your details of you scrolling on your phone. Also is looking into making sure that companies, you know how like Amazon was using AI to sort of like assess your work effectiveness. It was trying to put in protections for workers against that. So you're probably not getting a house, and you're gonna get fired because of AI. And that, yep.
So, y'all, you know what? Things are not going to get better under Donald Trump. He's not going to turn this around. And if he's all into his Project 2025, that should tell you right there, he's not going to do anything but sit around and watch the place fall apart. And, you know, look, there are people that have spotted, and I think I said this on my last live stream. Steve Bannon went to Britain, over to Great Britain, and he did an interview saying that Donald Trump will remain president in 2028. And Donald Trump just went out on Truth Social today and pretty much said he's not leaving. So that should tell you not only is he terrible at leading, he wants to be terrible at leading for another 4 years in 2028. Unbelievable. But right now, who's going to oppose him? The Democrats, they too damn scared to stand up to him, and people in his own party are too scared to stand up to him. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It certainly will be interesting. So, y'all, this is all I have, and I will be back again a little later. I have the Oklahoma hailstorm, the really bad hailstorm that hit them recently. So I hope you can all return. If not, have a wonderful night. Shalom, family. Oh, let me do my thank you. I got to do that. T-Key 116, thank you so much for your support and your super sticker. I deeply appreciate it. Shalom, family.